A mutual acquaintance named Grant was the person who connected us. He wasn't an individual who attracted attention instantly. No luxurious vehicle, no tailored attire, no magnetic allure. Grant was reserved in the most pleasant manner. He opened entryways without pomp, remembered minute particulars from previous discussions, and actually attended to what was said. I nearly skipped our first meeting, the evening before he messaged, anticipating our time. Tomorrow, let me know if anything alters. Simple, kind, no pressure. I rolled my eyes, thinking it too gentle perhaps, even dull, and threw my phone aside. Still, I proceeded. We met at a small, comfortable Italian restaurant he'd reserved in Atlanta, Georgia. I arrived in high heels, expecting decent food and possibly a bland conversation, but Grant astonished me. His inquiries were sincere, his attention genuine. He spoke less than he listened, and he noticed I was cold, subtly requesting the personnel to lower the ventilation. It felt effortless, like enveloping yourself in a warm blanket. After a prolonged day. No tricks, no false appearance, just composure, and yet I wasn't convinced. He was considerate, dependable, nurturing, but he didn't ignite the fierce excitement I believed I desired. He lacked the disorderly quality I always pursued, the one that thrilled me but often left me scarred. We continued to see each other. A second date. Then a third. I began looking forward to his messages, a melody he thought I'd enjoy, remembering my beverage preference, holding the sweetener. Still, I restrained myself. I hesitated, uncertain if I could allow someone so consistent to get too close. I had a fixed concept of what affection should feel like, and he didn't conform to that pattern. One evening he chose a rooftop eatery with a magnificent urban view, lights sparkling below, gentle music drifting around us. He showed up in a simple top and pants, authentic, comforting. He pulled out my seat, smiled, and said to me, a woman named Natalie, who was 29 years old, "You look gorgeous." I could have smiled in return, let the moment linger. Instead, I stated something I'd regret for a long duration. "You're not really my typical kind," I blurted out, trying to lessen it with a laugh. "But you're wonderful." The words struck him silently. His face softened, the warmth of his eyes fading like a fire losing its radiance. He paused, then nodded slightly. "I understand," he said. He signaled for the bill paid without touching his beverage and became quiet. I tried to dismiss it with a laugh. "I didn't mean it in that sense. I just meant you're different from my standard." He looked at me, calm and determined. Maybe that was the point. Then he stood settled, the invoice, and walked out. No drama, no quarrel, just a quiet departure, leaving his glass half full on the table. I sat there, astonished, embarrassed, perplexed. I told myself he was overreacting, that I'd been honest, not nasty. But when I got back to my house, he'd severed ties with me completely. No messages, no online interaction, like I'd vanished from his existence. Perhaps I never meant much to him. Or perhaps I meant too much. The following days weren't what I anticipated. I thought I'd move ahead, find someone who matched my kind, someone daring, thrilling, sharp. But instead, I kept replaying that night, his expression, the impact of my words. I pondered how he showed up fully, with thoughtfulness and effort, while I kept him at a distance. It hit me. I hadn't pushed him away because he wasn't sufficient. I'd pushed him away because I didn't think I deserved someone who offered steady, sincere consideration. I'd been so accustomed to chasing chaos, mistaking it for intensity, that I perceived his composure as uninteresting. I didn't know how to handle someone who truly paid attention to me. Grant was present, composed, authentic, and I wasn't prepared to receive that. I had dismissed him in the worst way. I Like you, but not enough. Weeks later, I saw him from afar walking with someone new. She was beaming and he looked at ease, happier than I'd ever seen him. I stood at the junction pretending to check my device, stomach twisting. He didn't notice me, or perhaps he did, and opted not to care. That moment pained more than I imagined, knowing she was probably receiving the kindness I'd been too frightened to accept. I told myself I'd reach out, apologize, explain. But what could I say? I had expressed my truth, and he'd taken it to heart. That's the hardest part. Not just that he left, but that he believed me. Words carry force, especially careless ones spoken with a smile. I lost someone exceptional that night because I was chasing a form of affection that never worked for me. He walked away not out of coldness, but because he finally acknowledged his own value. I didn't just lose him, I showed him he deserved better. Every story hides a truth. Uncover more only on Home Exposed. Don't forget to subscribe.